Welcome to my 18th C# tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to use multiple classes. We've touched on classes before, and I'm also going to cover a wee bit more about methods and stuff because I've had a few requests to elaborate on methods and parameters and arguments, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, just to let you know, I'm updating iTunes at the same time here, so if my C# freezes for some unknown reason, that's probably why. Anyway, what you're going to need to do is you're going to go ahead and create a new console application. I'm using a console application instead of a Windows Form application because it's much easier to show you what actually is happening, because you don't have all the code required to create forms and stuff getting in our way and distracting us. So once you've created it, I've just called mine class tutorial. You'll notice, now I've explained this before, but I'll go over it again. It creates automatically. Okay, you've got all your using statements. Again, don't worry about those at the minute. Then you have our namespace, and inside our namespace we have a class. Okay, and inside the class we have methods. So that is the breakdown of a program. Okay, C# is an object-oriented programming language, which means it's broken down into objects and, well, methods and classes and stuff like that there, but it just structures your program differently. In most basic programming languages, they are procedural. In other words, they will start at the top whenever running the code and go all the way down to the bottom. In object-oriented program, it'll run a bit here, run a bit there, in an order that you've specified. It can even jump to more than one code file, okay, which is what I'm going to explain today. So first of all, once you create your project, you'll automatically have a class called program created, because that is the generic name given to a class that C# is automatically created for you. Okay, now we have one class. This is our main. Well, this is our main class just for this tutorial, okay? Because it contains our main method. This is the one we'll be focusing on, okay? So like all your other programs, this is where your program will start. Okay, so to create another class, we go to here, this button here, add new item, and then we go to a class. Simple enough. And give your class a name. My second class.cs. Now you'll notice it automatically generates code for you in the class. Okay, it provides you with all the using statements required. It also creates a it also creates the namespace of class tutorial, which you've already got as well in this other file. But in this file, the class name is different. It's my second class rather than program, and you'll notice it has no main method. Your program can only have one main method, okay? As it can only start in one place. You can't have it starting in more than one place, because it can only do one thing at a time. So in this class it has no methods, so we're going to give it one, and we're just going to create one that will print out writing to the console. Now, what I'm going to do here is, I'm not sure if I explained this already, but I'm going to show you constructors. Okay, a constructor is a method that's automatically called whenever you use another class. I can't think of the words off the top of my head. It's late. It's 12 at night. Okay, I'm not sure if I explained this before. I might have, but you have to make it public, and you name it my second class. Okay, you name it the same name as your class. Okay, and you'll notice you don't give it a return type. Okay, that is the difference between a constructor and a method. So corny, I know, but okay. So actually, I'll need to do that as well. Where's console.read key? Okay. Now, if we run this program, nothing will happen. It'll just open the console and close it again, because there you go, and close it again, because we've called the main method and there's no code in it. So we need to link the two of them, and it's called an object-oriented language because we use objects. So we need to create an object that links or that uses the mySecond class. So to do this, we use mySecond class. So in other words, this is the class name we're using, okay? And then we name it whatever we want. Our constructor class, okay? And we set it equal to new mySecond class. Okay. Now, what this does is it creates an instance of mySecond class. Now, because we've got a constructor, it will automatically call the constructor once we type this code in. Okay, so if I run this, there we go, I'm a constructor. Now, you know constructors, you don't have to have a constructor. So let's make this a standard method. Okay, we're going to give it a name, so we're going to call it print out. Okay, and then if we run this now, you will notice that nothing happens. Why? Because no methods are called from here. There is no constructor that's automatically called. You've just created an instance of that class. So to call that method, we type constructor class and put a full stop, and like our methods before in the last tutorials, we put a period or full stop and then the method name. Okay, and we run it. Now, there we go, I'm a method. Simple. Now, I have been asked again to go over the arguments and or parameters, whatever you want to call them, just to explain them slightly better, okay? Now, I'm gonna use this class as well, okay? So we're gonna keep it over 2 classes because it's good practice. Okay, arguments are things which you tell a method, okay? They're the parameters are exactly the same as arguments, okay? And they're just another name for it. So it's the information that you're gonna tell your method that it needs, okay? So for example, say this method is going to print out whatever I tell it to. Not I'm a method, okay? But I don't know what it's going to be told. So I would create a string called output, and I'm going to type output here, okay? So for example, if you didn't know, you wanted to get a person's name, okay, and you got them to type it into the console and then print out their name. You know, you could have 6 different people using it, and you can't write their name out each time because it's going to be different every time. So we use a variable. So this in here is an argument, okay? You can have more than one argument. You do this by adding commas. And an argument is made up of a variable or a data type and then a name. So our name, okay? I only need one argument in this method, okay? Now, this, however, will cause an error because it requires information to be passed in it, okay? So whenever you're calling a method inside the brackets, you put the information that you're giving it, and say the person using this is called Jimmy. Okay, so there we go. Now your error is gone. Okay, so what this is doing is this is passing information into your, well, we're first of all, right, okay, we're creating an instance of our class. There's no constructor, so it's not calling anything automatically. Then we are using this constructor class and calling its method printout. So we're calling this method here. It's a way of pretty much of linking the two files together. So once it calls this, we are giving it the information Jimmy. Now you'll notice here we don't tell it what, we don't write string and then Jimmy, because it knows what to expect. You've already told it what it needs here, so it knows what it needs here, if you know what I mean. So I can't write one there, because one is an integer and it knows it's expecting a string. So, and let's run this and see if it works, and there we have Jimmy. Okay, very simple. That is all an argument is, or a parameter, whatever you want to call it. It is pretty much just information you're giving a method to use. Okay, there is nothing more complex about it. That is it. Again, classes, hang on, let's just see my time. 11:50. Oops, a wee bit over. But anyway, classes are just a way of separating your code into more than one file, and that's really all there is to know. I've taught you about constructors. I'm not sure I might have taught you them before, but hey, just recapping. And again, methods and arguments as well. Very, very simple and essential. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe. If you have any questions, get in touch with me. And thanks for watching.